The knock came at my kitchen door 3 months after David's funeral. I was sitting there with a bowl of Lucky Charms at 8 p.m. because cooking felt impossible anymore. 8 years of marriage, and I thought I knew every corner of his heart. I opened the door to find a woman in her 50s, gray streaking through her pulled back hair, clutching a baby carrier like it might float away. She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Are you Rachel?" Her voice shook. I nodded, confused, still holding my spoon dripping milk onto the floor. "I am Kit. This is your husband's son." The world tilted sideways. I gripped the doorframe, my knuckles going white. The baby couldn't have been older than 5 months, with David's distinctive ears and those deep brown eyes I'd fallen in love with at a coffee shop 9 years ago. My chest went hollow. Carol's daughter, a 20-year-old named Brittany, had been David's secret for 14 months. She'd gotten pregnant. David had been sending money, hundreds of dollars every month that I'd never noticed missing from our accounts. When he died in that accident on Route 7, the money stopped, and apparently, so did Brittany's ability to cope with motherhood. She'd walked out 2 weeks ago, leaving the baby with parents who were drowning. Carol pressed a wrinkled envelope into my trembling hands. My address in David's careful handwriting. Inside, a letter that tore through me like glass. Apologies that felt empty. Explanations that explained nothing. Promises he meant to tell me, but never found the courage. If something happens to me, he'd written, "You need to know about Mason." I stood there reading while Carol bounced the baby, who was starting to whimper. Part of me wanted to slam the door. Part of me wanted to collapse right there on the porch and scream until my throat was raw. "We can't keep him anymore," Carol said, tears streaming down her weathered face. "My husband lost his job at the plant. We're 3 months behind on the mortgage. The bank's foreclosing. We have nowhere to go, and I don't know what to do." I told her no, absolutely not. I didn't ask for this nightmare. I didn't sign up to raise the living proof of my husband's betrayal. She kept crying, saying Brittany was gone. They had nobody. They were desperate. Then she just left him there. Said she'd come back the next morning to work something out. That was 3 weeks ago. I called her phone 80 times. Disconnected. I drove to their address and found an empty house with weeds choking the driveway and a realtor's sign swinging in the wind. I asked their neighbors, posted in local Facebook groups, searched everywhere. Nothing. Here's what makes this harder. Mason is the easiest baby I've ever seen. He sleeps 6-hour stretches. He barely fusses. When he smiles, it's like sunshine breaking through storm clouds. But every single time I look at him, I see David's lies reflected back at me. I see the marriage I thought was solid crumbling into dust. I can't let myself love a child who represents everything that destroyed my life. My brother told me to just call adoption services. But legally I can't. I'm not his parent. I'm not his guardian. I'm just a woman his grandmother abandoned him with because she couldn't face her own responsibilities. Yesterday, I finally tracked down Carol's sister through a friend of a friend on social media. When I called, she sounded exhausted before I even explained why. Carol and Tom moved to Arizona, she told me. They're staying with Tom's cousin. I don't have a number. They just left. What about Brittany? A long silence stretched between us. Nobody's seen her since March. We think she's using. Maybe meth. Her friends won't talk to us. Something snapped inside me. I told her that if someone from Mason's real family didn't come get him within 7 days, I was calling Child Protective Services. This baby deserves people who actually want him, not someone who got trapped into the situation by other people's cowardice and desperation. The deadline is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. My phone hasn't rung once. I'm sitting here watching Mason sleep in a portable crib I bought at Target. His little chest rising and falling, completely innocent in all of this. He didn't choose any of this. Neither did I. Tomorrow, I'm making that call. If this story hit you hard, drop a comment below. Sometimes we need to know we're not alone in impossible situations. And if you stuck with me this far, I'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. These real stories need to be heard. Tomorrow changes everything.